What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am Calais. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any more awesome videos I have coming in the future. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for returning. Today is my first Flight Attendant Friday of the series. I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do is take it back. We're going to go all the way to the beginning and we're going to work our way back up to the present. So right now we're going to be going over the Flight Attendant application. And this is going to be what you need to know before you apply, what you need to know at the during the application process, and what jobs are currently hiring. So if you are interested in that video or in this video, definitely continue to watch. What you do is before you apply to be a flight attendant, the first thing you need to know is what are the requirements and what is needed to become a flight attendant. So first of all, you cannot have a criminal background. Of course, every job says that, but this job really checks. Like a lot of jobs, they say that they don't do background checks. They say that and they ask you if you have committed any felonies or anything like that. Or at least I don't think they do background checks. They might not. But here with the aviation industry, you have to have a clean background. Even myself, I had a ticket when I was like, I want to say 17, 18. I'm 23 right now. I got a ticket when I was 17, 18, and it was as a misdemeanor because for some reason, when I was younger, I thought it was okay to drive either without a license or without insurance, and I always got in trouble for it until I finally got my act together. But when I was younger, I got a ticket for that, and it counted. I think it was a misdemeanor for driving without a license. I think that's what it was, and I almost didn't get hired because of that, because it was on my record, and like they called me every day. They were like, you have a misdemeanor on your background check. Is that settled? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, well, we need some kind of documentation proving that you taking care of that information and everything is taken care of. And I was so scared because I was struggling going through like 80 different courts because for some reason, well, no, it's my fault. I was going through 80 different courts because I had tickets everywhere. I literally had in Detroit, Southfield, Oak Park, where else? Madison Heights, and I think that was it as far as my tickets go. But I had them everywhere. I didn't know where the ticket came from, so I was literally driving from city to city trying to figure out what it was because I took care of it. It's just I didn't have any documentation showing that. When I finally realized it was for Oak Park, or actually the state police, which is in Oak Park, but they're not for Oak Park, they're for the entire state of Michigan. I had to go to them, get a paper showing that I went to court for it. I paid the ticket and everything that had to come with it, and I'm now clear. And after doing that, I could go to training. Like, you cannot have a background at all as far as criminal wise, and they actually check up to 10 years. And I'm 23. That happened when I was 17, so that was a minute ago for me, but it wasn't long enough. The second thing you need to know is you cannot have any drugs in your system unless it's medicinal. You have to have a prescription for it. And I don't even think you can do like medical marijuana. I don't know, to be honest. I don't smoke marijuana, but I know when we were in the application process after the interview, you had to do a whole drug test and everything. You cannot have any kind of drugs in your system, and they check for everything. So just if you do have anything, make sure you have a insurance card or prescription for whatever you're taking, just so you're clear on everything. As far as the application process, now I'm filling out the application. It really actually is pretty easy. It's like every other application, besides some job or some airline companies, they either want you to put your 10-year work background in the application ahead of time or put it in the application at the interview. For me, in my application process, I don't think I did it on the actual computer when I was filling out applications for different places. Not for where I'm working now, but I know for other jobs or other companies, I did actually have to go through everything up to 10 years of where I worked, and also your residence for where you lived for the past 10 years, which sucked for me because I moved out of my mom's house when I was 18. That's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 5 years. 5 years before that, I lived with my mom. I have no idea. I could not remember where I stayed or how long I stayed, or it's just hard to remember that information because when you live on your own, of course, you have the leases from 5 years ago. You have all that information at your disposal compared to with their mom, and you have to have them look it up. It's just a whole lot whole lot. So if you're older, it's okay because you know where you stay, but if you're younger, I definitely would suggest to get a little help from your parents to see exactly where you can get that information. Also, you have to be 21. Some places say you have to be 19. I know a lot of what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. A lot of companies like SkyWest and PSA and all those where you fly for Delta, United, and all that stuff. Those you really have to be 19. I cannot remember what it's called right now. It's really stumping me. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry, guys. If I remember, I'll just write it down here so I have it in the video. But those you only have to be 19. For main lines, a lot of main lines and places that go international, you have to be 21 and able to go in and out of the country, which means you actually are going to also need a passport before like your interview. So you can fill out the application. You don't need a passport for the application. It says it takes 4 to 6 weeks for you to get your passport, but it really takes 2 weeks for you to receive it. So I would suggest as soon as you fill out the application, it is about $150. So you better know that you're getting that job so you can pay that $150 to get the passport. Because a lot of different places you have to actually have your passport when you go to the interview. And if you get an interview, you know, a week later for some places, which actually happened to me, I was lucky enough. If you get interviewed a week later, you know, you have to have a passport or you can't go into the interview for a lot of places. You can't have the receipt. You have to have the actual passport booklet. Other than that, for the application, I would suggest rewrite your resume to look as good as possible for customer service, anything within the hospitality field, because that's a lot that has to do with the airline business. You want to make sure that even if you got, like, I was a collector, which means I had to call people and make them pay their money. Like, I had to do that. But when I rewrote my resume, I would say, like, I spoke to different customers, making sure that we set up the best arrangement for them so they can bring their accounts current as soon as possible. That sounds so much better than I made outbound calls to customers to receive funds and bring their account current as soon as possible. So you just want to make sure all your things on your resume look as closely related to the customer service field as possible. And that's pretty much it as far as the application process. It's really, really easy. It's just going to take you a little while because you have to do that entire background information for employment and for your residence, where you have to have 5 to 10 years, and you want to make sure they're close as possible. So when they're doing your background check, there's no kind of discrepancies, you know, address coming before a different address, or it's longer than what you wrote on the paper. You just want to make sure everything's as correct as possible. Last but not least, and I deliberately waited to the end of the video to tell you this because I know some of the people probably either tried to skip through the video, went into the description box just to look for what airline is hiring. And I ain't gonna lie, I did it too. So if you are interested, it's in the description box. If you watched it all to the end, thank you so much. But I will put a link to a website that tells all airlines that are hiring. On that website, what happens is the yellow highlighted links are gonna be jobs or airlines that's hiring for specifically flight attendants. So if you want to be a flight attendant, this is going to be the best website for you. To tell you, and it's different every time. Like, it has a bunch of different websites. Definitely click that link down below, or a bunch of different airlines. So definitely click that link down below. Also, if you want to be in the airline industry but you don't want to be a flight attendant, that's a great website for you as well. It has stuff for gate agent, rep agents, you know, customer service. All of it. It's just the airline period that's hiring, and you can look for different job descriptions or different jobs. You don't have to specifically be a flight attendant if you don't want to be, but I would definitely suggest it because I really love being a flight attendant. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you did enjoy the video and all the information that I had included in it, definitely give me a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is Flight Attendant Friday, so we're gonna be posting flight attendant videos every Friday in chronological order of the process. So application, that's going to be the interview and things like that until we're completely caught up, and then what I'll do is start doing flight attendant vlogs for you all. But if you did enjoy the video, give it a huge thumbs up. Thank you guys, and peace out.